Hello, this is Anna K, your host for Salty TV, and I'm glad to be back here again. I hope you shared Jesus throughout the week, share Jesus in any way possible on social media. Personally, I hope you share Jesus. We are in the month of love. It's February and there's love in the air. A lot of people are doing boyfriend, girlfriend, and husband and wife things, all lovey-dovey. So today I decided to bring one man that I follow a lot on Facebook. He gives a little bit on life and love. It's very interesting. So I said, let me bring him here and have a conversation with him. I will allow him to introduce himself.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I am Pastor Andrew Yarquah, and I'm the lead pastor for the Refiners Avenue, which is based in Kumasi, Daban. And then I'm married to one wife, and then we have 3 boys.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Boy dad. Okay, so we have him here. I'm so glad you're here. You're welcome on Salty TV.
Thank you.
So I'll go straight to the point. It's love, love, love. So I want to ask to you, what is love?
Love means a lot of things to different people. But personally, I define love as sacrifice. You can love without sacrifice. You can sacrifice without love, but you can't love without sacrifice.
Okay.
When God loved the world, the Bible says that He gave His only begotten Son. What most people don't know about relationship and then marriage is that marriage is spelled work, and love is a decision you will have to make to stick with someone through thick and thin. And so I believe that the basic definition for love is sacrifice.
You said something. Love is a decision you make.
Yes.
So do you decide, or you? Some people say, when I saw the person, love at first sight, I just fell in love. So do you decide to fall in love, or you decide to stay in love?
Okay, so the first step, love goes through different phases.
Okay.
The first step for most love encounters is the physical one, the physical attraction. And what most people don't know is that anytime you meet someone and you are in love with the person, or you fall in love with the person, or you like the person, or you are physically attracted to the person, what happens is that there is a hormone called the happy hormone, or dopamine, that is released.
Yeah.
That is what gives you the butterflies, and then you can't wait to speak to the person and all that. But beyond that, there must be something that connects the two of you beyond how you feel about the person. So I feel that love should go beyond how you feel about the person, and it's a decision you take to stick with the person, even when you go through the various phases of love.
Wow. Okay, so you said there are various phases of love.
Yes.
So does love fade? Can it fade?
Passion can fade, but the decision to love someone, that's no change. For example, I feel that love has or goes through several phases. The first phase is the honeymoon stage. That is when you meet someone for the first time, you like the person, you start talking to the person on the phone and all that. And during that stage, when we tell you that, no, this guy, there's a problem with this person, you can literally put your hand in fire and tell the person, you guys are not seeing well.
Perfect.
Okay, so we tend to see the person as a very perfect person who doesn't make mistakes and all that. And that is what we call the honeymoon stage. That is when you have the butterflies, you have the passion for the person. You can literally spend the whole night speaking to the person on the phone. All right. But then love has a way of being an eye opener. After some time, you begin to see certain character traits of the person which you previously didn't see. For example, you'll be surprised that the same lady who used to eat with fork and knife, once you get married, the person will be chewing bones and then cracking a lot of stuff. So the second stage for most love is what I call the reality stage. And that is
from the honeymoon stage, you get to the reality stage.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it is in the reality stage that you may not necessarily feel the emotions for the person. That is when people feel that love has faded, but it hasn't really faded. It's just that the butterflies and the passion has really gone down, and you don't expect the butterflies to be there all the time because there are responsibilities. Sometimes responsibilities can even affect how you feel about the person.
Yeah.
All right. Imagine previously, before I got married, when my wife sends me a text message, the text message she will subscribe with "I love you," but these days I receive text messages and it's not I love you messages, but it's bills I have to pay and all that. So you realize that love doesn't necessarily fade. It's just that the emotions and the feelings and the passions we have with people may fade over time. But
And
like I
dwindle
mentioned,
a
that
little.
it's a decision to stick with the person, whether you still feel the same butterflies or not. That keeps the two of you together.
So when the passion and all that dwindles, how do you stay loved up?
You need to. There are a few things you need to do to keep the love going or to keep the relationship going. Many a times, well, it is sometimes the little things we used to do for our partners. I tell people that don't start what you cannot finish. Right? I see people dating and then you see the guy holding the lady's bag and all that. I tell them that please,
To stop doing this problem.
if you, that's the point. If
True.
you know you can't continue, please don't start.
Yeah.
All right. So many a times we start and then when we get into the marriage, we behave like politicians. Once you have won the
You won
vote,
the election.
or once you have
No
won the election,
campaign.
you don't campaign again. Okay, but that is when you should keep doing the little things that kept the relationship when you guys were dating. All right. So when you marry, what you need to do is that you need to continue wooing your spouse. You need to continue dating your spouse. That's why in certain marriages we have date nights where both the couple decides that away from the children, let's spend some time together
Okay.
and let's have some me time. So basically, that is how I feel about it.
Okay, so for we the single ladies or single gentlemen who are not married, then let's move to the choosing a right partner aspect of this interview. So how would I know that this person is right for me, first of all?
Okay, so first of all, I wouldn't look at it that way. I would want you to be the right person. Many a times we look out for who is right for me instead of being right for the person. Because you attract your own kind.
Wow.
If you work on yourself, you have the best. You think that you are working on your passion and then how you want to who you want to be, then you are most likely to see clearly and be able to see someone who connects well with you and then be able to maybe
who you are.
Exactly. So there should be you work on yourself first and then you'll be able to see clearly who you should date or who you shouldn't date.
So you being the right person can easily attract your kind.
Exactly.
Okay. So when I meet someone, how would I know that I need to take this a step further? I'm a woman. For a woman's point, then we go to a man because a man has to come and propose to us as women. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
So when I meet someone and I feel like, okay, he's good, how will I know? Like, what are the things I should look out for? Like, generally, not just specific. Like, how can I tell that, okay, this guy, this, that can make me know that let me take it a step further? Okay,
so there's something called red flags in relationships. Red flags basically means stuff that you see in your partner that tells you don't go ahead. So if you're a young lady who is looking out for someone you want to settle down with, I tell people that love is not enough. Sometimes we think that, well, because I love him, then I should be able to stick with him. And sometimes you see a lot of toxic behaviors, but you still feel that once I still keep feeling the butterflies anytime I see him or anytime the person is not around, let me just stick with the person. But when it comes to marriage, there are a lot of things you should look out for. Or when it comes to taking the next step, there are a lot of things you should look out for. What is a person's values? Okay, how do you connect and all that? So once you feel that the both of you agree in a lot of areas, I think that you can take it to the next step.
So I think that would be the same thing for a gentleman also.
Exactly.
Right here.
Exactly.
Okay, so looking at the values and how you click, because I have been in a situation where I feel like my vision or doesn't align with the person.
Yes.
So do you think that, with that being said, when you are looking for a partner, whether a man or a woman, your purpose in life has to correspond with the person?
Yes, I think that love, we don't marry for pleasure, we marry for purpose. Right. There are a lot of things you need to look out for when you are choosing who becomes your spouse. I think that the first thing you should look out for is when both of you agree when it comes to faith. One thing you should know about faith is that faith will demand a lot from you.
Yeah.
Your faith will demand a lot from you. For example, faith will demand the same way your marriage will demand from you.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking for who to marry or who I'm going to stay with, I have to make sure that we share the same faith. And even that, there are Christians, beyond the fact that the person is in church, there are Christians who are in church, but they don't share the same faith with us.
Yeah.
Okay, it is only Christians who, when it comes to marriage, ignore the aspect of faith. When I talk about faith, I'm not really talking about the fact that both of you are Christians. What is a person's belief system, even though the person is a Christian? There are Christians who don't believe in tithing.
Yeah, that's true.
There are
Even
Christians-
miracles and deliverance.
Exactly. So if you unfortunately connect yourself with someone who doesn't share the same belief system with you, there are people who believe that I can give all my money to the church. Others also believe that I can spend the whole week in the church. Now imagine connecting your destiny to someone who doesn't believe you have to go to church, or who doesn't believe you should spend all your time in church, and the person is complaining church, and all that. So when you get to know the person's faith, it helps you
A
to
lot.
yes. Secondly, worldview or philosophy. Right.
That's true. That's
A
true.
person's philosophy about life affects who they are.
Yeah.
There are Christians who also. I know I'm talking to a lot of Christians.
Yes, sure.
There are Christians who are very liberal, and they believe that homosexuality is normal.
That's not liberal Christianity to me.
No, there are Christians who have become so liberal they think that it's normal. Some Christians, there are certain things which are not sinful, but you shouldn't encourage them in marriage. For example, there are some men who don't believe their wife should share the same bed with them. The woman
Even
should
makeup, nails.
Exactly.
Some men feel it's wrong. Yeah,
exactly. So these are some of the things. The person's philosophy in life is very, very important. Now the third thing, what is a person's purpose? That comes to where what you asked. Okay, your purpose is what will keep you awake. For example, growing up, I knew that I was going to be a pastor. So anytime a woman came closer to me, I had to be able to differentiate between whether the person is a slave, whether the person fits into my purpose or not. It helped me to narrow down my search on the type of woman I wanted to stay with. That meant that if anybody had any slave queen mentality, the person could not stay with me. So your purpose in life is very important. Once you discover your purpose, there's a saying that if the purpose of a thing is not known, its abuse is inevitable. Once you discover that this is the reason why I was created, it helps you to be able to determine who joins the journey of life with you, or who enters the same vehicle with you. Bear in mind that marriage is like a prison, and you should be able to carefully choose who wears the same handcuffs with you.
That's true. It's bringing me a lot of memories and making me understand things well.
Yes.
What about the aspect of age?
Yes.
Do you think age should be a factor? A lot of people say it's good to marry early. I don't know if it's because of childbirth, but they put a lot of pressure on young people to get married early.
Biological time clock, yeah.
Yeah. So what about age when it comes to marriage and even dating?
I don't think there's a particular age that you need to marry. Unfortunately, I don't know who brought up that cliche that especially if you're a woman, you should be married before the age of 30. Marrying right is more important than marrying early, because it's possible to marry early and still divorce or end up separated. But if you marry right, no matter how old you are, if you marry right, I think that the chances are that sometimes some of you don't even need to marry early, because sometimes as you grow, as you age, you mature. And you shouldn't just look out for the person's age, look at the person's maturity. Because there are a lot of older people who behave like who need diapers. They are very old, but they are not emotionally matured. So it is not just the age, but how matured is a person to settle down. Once you work out the issue of maturity, I think then you should be able. So there are younger people who are more matured than even older people. And so age, yes, may be a factor, especially if you're a woman because of your biological clock. But I think we should look beyond the age. We should go into more into how mature the person is.
Okay, I want to talk about age in dating.
Yes.
You know how I started dating when I was 12 years.
Hey.
Then the people are like, why did you date at the age of 12? What did you know? But I like love so much.
Okay.
So some JSS spoiled.
You are a hopeless romantic.
I tell you. So I want to know, what do you think is the right age for a young boy or young girl to date? Not just to be in a I don't know if it's courtship, not courtship, it's dating, right?
Dating, yeah.
So what age is right? Do you think, because I will advise anybody that I think it's a waste of time to start dating early, to me. But since you are here, what do you think is the right age
it's a very tough question.
And let me add this question to it, and how long do you think it's right to date? Because when I started at 12, I just said that guy has last 8, we were tired of each other. What do you think about that?
Okay, so before you date someone, you should have a conversation with yourself. What are you looking out for in that relationship? I advise people that you shouldn't date beyond 2, 3 years, because the longer you date, chances are that you would have done all the things you're not supposed to be doing when you date for a long period.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not dating; they are married because they are doing stuff that married people are supposed to be
Just
doing.
left for them to bless the marriage for them. They've done
Exactly.
it
All right.
already.
So when it comes to dating, there shouldn't be there's no specific age, but the person should be matured. Okay, mentally, you should be matured physically, and then you should decide. For example, if you're a lady and then you make a decision to date, and a guy comes around, you should be able to tell the guy that, listen, I want to settle down in the next 3 years. Can you cope with it?
Yeah, I agree.
If the guy says no, then you should know that the person is
He's not ready.
exactly, or the person is just is likely to waste your time.
Yeah.
There are people who are not supposed to be dating. I feel that some of the best times you in your life, some of the best times or the best experiences you have in your life is when you are single,
True.
because you can be single and then very happy.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, we make people feel miserable because they are single. Okay. You don't kill anybody.
You know,
Now single, you're
nobody.
single.
Ah, come on.
Okay, so sometimes you just have to take your time, prepare yourself very well, and then when the right time comes, when somebody comes around, you have a conversation, honest conversation with the person. Let the person know that, listen, I can't go beyond 4 years. I can't go beyond 3 years. If the person is right, why not? If the person wants to settle down, the person will settle down. If the person doesn't, then you know that you are dating a time waster. So there's no particular age, but make sure that you are matured emotionally, you are matured physically, and you are matured mentally, and sometimes even financially.
I was about to add it. Financially is important.
Very important.
Yeah, very, very important.
Yeah.
Before you, because if you don't even have the finances, how are you even going to marry the person?
You know,
Whether
there
a
are,
boy or a girl.
you know, there are people who feel that, when I marry someone, people think that suffering
It's part of love.
is part of love.
I mean, it's sacrifice now.
Yes, sacrifice is different from suffering.
I'm telling you, sacrifice is actually different from suffering.
Yes, some people think that, okay, so I want the person to cook for me. I'll give you 20 cedis to cook for me. There are some men who don't. I was reading an article. A guy said that as a woman, you shouldn't have a washing machine.
Look at this. What you are saying, ideology. So
Exactly.
So imagine marrying a man who doesn't want you to use washing machine, blender,
Yes.
and you are working.
Yes.
You have to wake up like the sister, 4 a.m. cook for him.
It's a huge problem, and there are women too who also who think that a woman is not supposed to work.
Yes. So imagine you're a man, you want a working class lady.
Exactly. So other than that, you have a couch in the house. You just go out and come and meet the person in the house every day.
My God. So there's something in our generation. They say what?
The Gen Z people. Yes.
They say talking stage.
Yes.
They can be in a talking stage for like 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, and they're not in a relationship. And they're wasting their time. Some of them, they'll say they're not dating, we're in the talking stage.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard it before, but what do you think about that? Do you need to be in a long, before you say yes to a guy, not to marriage, dating, you think you need to, I'm not a fan of, the guy says, I want to be with you now, I'll come and stretch you. I don't stretch.
Yeah.
But then people feel like you should stretch, let him value you and know that what do you think about this whole talking stage? And all that.
You see, the guys who are coming today, they don't have time.
Another angle.
Yes, they have cost.
Some of them are also wasting girls' time.
Exactly, but I feel that a lot of the young men who are coming now don't have time to waste. My problem with some of the ladies is that you already like the guy.
That's the point.
You have even spotted him. You are even praying about the person. You have even seen the person in your dreams several times. That the guy comes to propose to you and say, give me some time, let me go and think about it. Some of them take longer periods to think about it. And then these guys don't have time, they move to the next person who is serious. All right, so talking to someone or that stage should not take long.
For the girl, because some of the guys intentionally, the girl is ready, but they're like, oh, we are in a talking stage, we have a thing.
That's why I said earlier that you should be able to, at the beginning of the relationship, you should be able to give the guy a fair idea of what exactly you expect in a relationship. If the person is a time waster, you know. If the person is not going to waste your time, you will also know.
Yeah, thank you so much. So any advice about love? It's Valentine's season. Any advice you want to give?
Okay, so let me use this opportunity to advise all those who are listening to me or those who are watching me. Love is not enough. Okay, I know some of you, you think that because I love the person, that is why I need to stay with the person. But you need to be look beyond the love. Okay, you need to look beyond the physical purpitude or the physical features of the person. There are tall guys who are sons of Satan, and there are ladies who have all the big breasts, they have the big nyash and all that, but they don't have any sense. Okay, so when you are looking at love, go beyond the feelings you have for the person. Look beyond that, and then make sure that both of you share similar values. Make sure the person has a lot of sense. Because listen, when something happens to you at 2 a.m., it is not the feeling the person has for you that is going to make the person wake up and take you to the hospital. The person must have a lot of sense and a sense of responsibility to be able to help you. So please, the economy is already hard. Make sure that you choose a sensible spouse and a sensible partner. So thank you very much. God bless all of us.
Any advice generally, not just love, anything else you want to add?
That's a very tough one.
Generally, oh yeah, cool.
Okay, so Vows Day, right?
It shouldn't even be about vows, do anything at all.
Yeah, so let me just
Vows Day.
narrow on Vows Day. Please, sex is not a Valentine's Day's gift if you're not married to the person. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you so much for coming. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much for
it.
having
Thank you
me.
so much for watching. This has been an amazing salty Saturday as usual, an amazing salty experience. We hope you enjoy our next session. Share Jesus to the world. Don't forget to share Jesus in any small or big way you can. Share Jesus in school, everywhere, social media. Just share Jesus, and don't forget to subscribe to Salty TV if you haven't. Hit that button and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. And we're on TikTok now. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us everywhere and it's almost all social media platforms. And don't forget to share Jesus and share Salty TV. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. See you again.